You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Capture After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Capture After Show.
I thought this song was more than fitting for this episode. Hi, everyone. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Bing is for doing, and today we are doing Capture Episode 5, the halfway point, and it is a sad day here at the Capture After Show for my love, James.
I know.
James,
it's so disappointing. Hi, guys. It's James from the Lime team. You can follow me on Twitter at James Wallington.
And I am Keetin Marchi, his co-host today.
And we have a really special guest, and I'm so thankful that she's staying up late to talk to us because it's late back in Michigan. But my sister, Rebecca. Say hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Rebecca?
What?
Go ahead.
She's really tired, you guys.
She's really tired. Well, Becca, thank you for staying up. I appreciate it.
Of course. I'm excited to be able to talk to you guys.
And you can go ahead and follow Rebecca on Twitter at Bex, BEX_Wallington.
Go Team Wally. I feel so lucky. It's just me and the Lime team today. It's wonderful. Donald's not here today. He had to work late, so we're sad that he's not here. But he sends his love to both of you guys.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
Rebecca, we know we need to let you go to sleep. So let's just jump right into it. What are your overall thoughts of kind of the episode and your experience on Capture?
Oh, that's a broad question. That was the most difficult thing that I have done in my entire life, but I can't imagine doing it to anybody else except for James. He was a fantastic partner in crime, literally. So we had lots of fun, but that was pretty darn tough.
Ring, ring. Yeah, Rebecca, I think the toughest part was just like the terrain and how it just used and abused our bodies, not just our bodies, everyone in general, but how did it take a toll on you physically, do you feel like?
Well, the combination of not being able to drink a lot of water, really minimal rations, and pretty awful sleeping conditions really takes a toll on your body. Every single day really adds up. It doesn't seem like a lot. It adds up very quickly. And I've never had such reckless abandon with my own body and throwing myself into harm's way. So that was an interesting experience. It's both of my fault.
How much weight did you use, and kind of what changes did you see happen to your body when you got home and throughout the process?
Shut up, James. I didn't lose any weight somehow.
She didn't lose any weight.
How I managed that. I think I'm the only one. I'm not
well, girl, you look great.
Yeah, Rebecca, you did look really good. You did look really good. I lost a total of 10 pounds. Remember when I took my shirt off on that day when we were in the jail before we went to? I literally.
It was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
His shoulders were poking out all funny in not normal ways, and it was actually kind of scary, honestly.
Yeah.
How are your? I guess everybody wants to know, how's your ankle and how's your head?
Oh, I have no residual damage from any of the damage it did to my body on the show, but at the time, both times I really freaked out on the inside because I was worried. I mean, when I fell and twisted my ankle, it legitimately hurt, and when I hit my head, it scared me, honestly.
Yeah, that was not a hard fall, and I think the footage kind of showed that. And even when you smacked your head, there was a sound effect that kind of went with the score over the clip.
God, the dramatic.
That I think summed up that moment so nicely. Yeah, when Rebecca's a really tough cookie. That's my sister. I've known her for 22 years. She just turned 22 on Monday.
Oh, happy birthday, Rebecca.
Well, thank you.
So seeing Rebecca cry, I mean, you weren't like sobbing like I was, let's be honest. But when her eyes filled up with tears, I knew there was an issue. Like I knew that it wasn't just, oh, I fell. She really hurt herself. And that was more serious than I think it really let on.
Yeah.
But
well, we're glad you're okay now. I mean, I know there have been contestants in the past from like shows like Survivor, Big Brother, like some of the challenges have like kind of their injuries have carried on into their kind of after show life. So I'm glad that you're not still dealing with any repercussions from what you did to your body out there, because that does look tough. Like I think that's what as an audience member, we don't really get what you guys are going through and what your bodies are going through, because obviously each episode's only an hour and we only get to see so much of each team. But I mean, gosh, what you guys put your bodies through for 4 hours each day, and just your sleeping condition.
And I mean, you see James and I struggle at some points, but I mean, he was out there struggling for 4 hours every day, and you only see small parts of that. And every single day it was an uphill battle through manzanita, the huge, awful bushes. So, I wish you guys could see that.
Did you guys train for this competition?
I think it was tough. I mean, I ran a lot. I remember, I don't know how many times I called you. And I was like, I just ran 3 miles. I'm feeling good. I ran every day, did I not? And I think for Rebecca, you were during finals for school. She had to take all her finals early because she was, we had to leave for filming. So I think was it a little bit harder, Rebecca, with your schedule to train, but you did what you could.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, honestly, there were some contestants that were marathon runners, and they are in great shape, but the fact that they're not eating the 5,000 calories a day that they eat when they're training puts them at a disadvantage too. So everyone was completely taken aback, and it was very difficult to prepare for it.
I agree. I think with any reality show too, like you can do a certain amount of preparation, but once you're thrown into those elements and you're really competing for it, it's not at all what you thought. And I don't think anyone could really train. I think you can mentally train physically, no matter how hard you try. Some of the strongest people before us that were considered stronger than Rebecca and I left before us. So I don't think we were weak by any means, but we definitely, as far as our physical resume of being marathon runners, like Rebecca said, or MMA fighters or professional boxers like the white team, of course we don't have that, but we did have spirit, and we definitely did have the wits, and we were very cunning, I think.
Yeah. Rebecca, what do you think was your strongest asset in the game, and what do you think is your biggest downfall in the game?
Oh, that's a really tough one. I don't know. James was really how do I say it? The leader of our team, I guess. And so I was his support system mentally, I think. And so that was our strong asset, was just our support together. And downfall was us just getting really excited about those sabotages and jumping right into those. James and I actually fought at one point about doing one of those, which they didn't show. But so we didn't head over to do one of those, and he wasn't very happy about that, or he changed.
No, I actually think it was the one that we stumbled on in this episode. I was like, I want to go for it because I know that people, I felt like I was under the impression that if a strong team went for that, absolutely they're going to put it on Rebecca and I, because we're considered weaker to a lot of the teams remaining in the competition. And without a doubt, Jaden and Keetin probably would have been able to capture us on that first hunt if we had been sabotaged. So for me, I was like, Rebecca, we have to go for it. Otherwise, we're going to be sabotaged. Would you rather have an idea of knowing the hunt team's not on our tail all day, or all of a sudden finding out that the hunt team is on our tail for these 4 hours? We're either going to work hard or we're going to be able to work our way around the hunting grounds and not get captured. And it paid off.
Back to the disadvantages, James and I disagree on a lot of things, and we had an entirely different strategy going into the game.
Yeah.
I did not want to do sabotages and burn bridges, so that was definitely something different. But of course, I don't regret doing them because that was pretty awesome. but those definitely were game changers.
Yeah, so you guys kind of balanced each other out, you being kind of the friendly social player. I mean, James obviously is a good social player as well, but he's kind of more in tune with reality television and probably got in there and just wanted to play really hard.
I think,
absolutely.
Rebecca, it kind of changed gears, though, after episode 2, because I felt like everyone was like, oh, James and Rebecca are such a sweet team. Like, they're not really here competing. I can't tell you how many times Kalisha called Rebecca and I naive. And at
Oh my gosh, that
first,
pissed me
I
off
was like,
so
awesome.
much.
But Rebecca and I were so mad because we're far from naive. We were very in tune about the social dynamics in the camp, where there was a division with who was against who. And Rebecca and I used that to our advantage. We played both sides of the fence as long as we could by being weaker. But it got to the point where I think my pride got in the way, and I was like, we're not naive. Let's not play into this label. Like, we're here to compete, and we have what it takes to really kick some butt. And that's why you see us kind of step it up midway through episode 3, carrying on to episode 5, ultimately,
Yeah.
which is our downfall.
Yeah. Rebecca, what was kind of your favorite part of this entire experience?
Oh Lord. Okay, so now looking back at it, I think it was just a kicks and giggles, so much fun. But I know that at the time it was like the worst experience of my life because it was so difficult. I mean, my favorite part was really spending time with James. I mean, within the first 2 days that we were out there, I think we talked more than we have in the past 2 years. So that was truly amazing, being able to spend so much nonstop time with him. And we didn't even want to kill each other. Like, we worked really well together.
And I think
it was shocking, actually.
Yeah, and I think that was our thing too, like going into it, like we're either going to kill each other or we're going to work really well together, because we knew we balanced each other out. And I said that in the first episode. Like, we have a best friend. We're not only siblings, but we also have this best friend factor since I am adopted. We are completely polar opposites on the personality scale. Like, I'm more high strung, I'm more impulsive, while Rebecca's a little bit more calculated and laid back. So we were able to pull our strengths out of each other to really balance and create this really strong team dynamic.
Yeah. I loved watching you guys, like, on the show. You guys were my favorite team. I know I just went home and visited my sister, and we don't have a very close relationship, but when she found out that I host this AfterBuzz with James for Capture, she was like, oh my God, I love that show, and she just loves the Lime team. And I think you guys were definitely a huge inspiration to a lot of people, and kind of fighting against bullies. And I know they tried to kind of make you look like bullies in the end, but I don't think you guys were bullies. I think you guys just started scaring them a little bit, so they tried to get rid of you.
I agree. And like,
Well, they did get rid of you.
Right, they did. I want to go on to the whole bullying aspect because, you know, yeah, I did make comments that came off very cocky when Jaden and Nikita captured us. But I was super sick that day, and you don't really learn a lot about that. But Becca, remember in the middle of the night when I woke you up and you were so mad, but I was in such excruciating pain? Like I
wasn't mad. I was just like, "What are you doing?"
And I was
hard to come by.
Yeah, I was moaning. Like I knew something was wrong. But Rebecca also called my bluff the next day when I pretended like I was okay, and she's like, "I know you're not okay. Like, don't be stubborn. Like, if you're not feeling well, you need to say something, because that could cause something serious later on." And I did. Like, I saw the medic. Like, I was pretty dehydrated. Like, I let the dehydration and starvation get the best of me, and that is why we decided to step it up and take the risks that we did to go to the supply station. Because at the end of the day, food and water are of the utmost, you know, I don't even know where I'm going with importance for survival.
We wanted some pasta.
And I know, and I told James, Rebecca, I was like, you know, watching the episode, I'm the whole time I'm just like, James, why are you going to the supply station? Why? You know, like Jade and Nikita, their strategy is kind of hunting and prowling. They're like little lionesses. Like, and I as soon as I saw you guys going there, I was like, oh no, like I just wanted to shake you and be like, why? You know better than to go there. But understanding that you were sick and that you just needed that food so much to kind of keep going, it makes so much more sense.
Well, I even said too, like I rewatched the episode before coming in tonight, but I even said, this is the weakest I've ever felt. And I know my body. Before I went in, I weighed 170 pounds. That's not enough weight to carry you through a survival competition. I lost 10 and a half, so I was around 160. I had no meat on my bones. I was freezing.
You're like 6'1" too, so that's like
I'm a big guy.
Like,
that I should have packed on weight before going into this in this circumstance. But like I said, when I'm crying in that clip, I'm not a quitter. I could have said I can't go out today on this hunt.
You're a pusher, James.
I'm a pusher.
You're a
I had my Mean Girls moment. I'm a pusher. I pushed Rebecca. I pushed me. But that's just who I am. I'm not a quitter. And I think people have taken that emotional clip completely out of context. It was me just saying, I could have quit this morning when I knew that I was sick, but I'm here to compete. And also,
your body was giving out on you, but mentally you wanted to be there and you wanted to push yourself.
I did.
Do you think so? What I was thinking is, if you guys actually did get to the supply station without being like ended up getting captured and Rebecca using your head, if you were in there and you had time to chill out, do you think you could have outrun the black team?
Yeah.
Or do you think the teal team would have come after you guys?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure who they would have gone after, honestly, after black. And yeah, actually, I'm not sure
I think
who they would have chosen to go after.
if we could have outrun black, I think Rebecca and I probably would have followed Noelle and Sabrina, whatever route they were going in, with hopes that we were faster than them.
Opposite direction.
Rebecca, because they would have. Rebecca, Rebecca, because they would have come after us. Because everyone had already dubbed us the weaker team, even though we know Noelle and Sabrina are also on the same level.
Well, Noelle
as
and
us.
Sabrina were drunk.
They were exactly, Rebecca. See what I'm
That's
saying? We
true.
would have ran the same way as they would, because we could have outran them. And if they're going to come up against black or us, they're going to come to black first.
Well, do you think even, Rebecca, do you think even after you hit your head, do you think you could have, like, if you would have sat there, because I guess the supply station was probably open for another maybe 30 minutes after you guys kind of had you hit your head, Rebecca, and you kind of were halfway in, and we didn't know whether you guys were going to be captured or not. Do you think you would have had enough time to kind of recoup to where you could actually continue on in that day's hunt, or do you think it would have been the end of your hunt that day after you hit your head?
I mean, if I had or had not hit my head? If I'd gotten it and hit my head.
If you didn't...
I think, honestly, the adrenaline of getting in there and of escaping the hunt team, I think that would have gotten us through the rest of the day. So, yeah, I think that I would have been able to recover fast enough and get through that, just being amazed that we were at a supply station and outran a hunt team. So.
Yeah.
Even though, side note, there was not any pasta there by the time we
That's
ended up
true.
getting to the supply station.
We busted our ass for nothing.
Oh my God, I didn't even think
Nick
about
and Chris,
that.
you ate all that spaghetti, but they're big guys, so I understand. But
Oh my gosh, that's
There's more
heartbreaking.
pasta there for more than 2 people.
Yep.
Come on now. I mean, yeah, I think they said they were still hungry too.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that breaks my
Anyway.
heart for you guys. So did you trip or or how was that? How did the fall happen? I know I saw it in slow motion multiple times, but
Looking back, I couldn't figure out what happened, in my own mind. But after seeing the clip, it's weird watching it because we kind of slowed down to watch, and it looks like, I can't tell them apart.
It
But
was
one of
Jade.
the field
Becca,
team girls,
it was Jade.
I don't know.
It was Jade.
But it looks like she's reaching past me and trying to put the tail in on James while we're running, which I just thought was the funniest thing.
She was.
And I don't know if I don't think that I trip. I'm pretty sure we bump into each other and I just go flying.
They definitely, I think,
So.
I remember in that moment, it was such a heated moment. Like, my adrenaline went through the roof. And you act in a situation of survival, you act on impulse. And so my immediate reaction was check if Rebecca's okay and then get her ass into that safe zone and then even make sure she's okay in the safe zone. Because they didn't ask her if she was okay. I'm sorry, they didn't. They were waiting to pounce on her. So I acted the way I thought was appropriate for that situation. You watched the clip, and unfortunately, I was frustrated when I know it was 3 months ago when we filmed this, and it was the heat of the moment. I was really frustrated that Jade said Rebecca can't run and walk in a straight line when it was very clear that Jade couldn't run in a straight line. She ran into my sister. It was not intentional. Jade and Nikita are great girls. We have our differences. We went through this experience together, so of course it's very heated for a lot of us contestants. But she ran into my sister. It wasn't intentional, but that's why Rebecca fell onto her back. Rebecca didn't roll onto her back to cover that vest. She fell onto her back.
oh my
I
God.
don't know, it isn't instinctual for me to roll onto my back.
No, and you
know,
grabbed the
as
back
a
of your
pursuit
head.
fall.
Like, you clearly fell onto your back.
It looked like, because you had her hand so tight, and that's one of the things I loved. Every shot of you guys together, you guys were always holding hands. It was just absolutely adorable and so sweet to see how close you guys were. But I feel like when you did get hit, if you did get hit from that force from behind, James, the way he was pulling you or had your hand held, that kind of lurched you more on your back. I'm leaning away from the mic, sorry. And then did you fall? Was your head what broke your fall, or because that it was so dramatic seeing that on TV, and everybody who was watching it in my house, we're all just just silent. It was just did you fall on your head, or what kind of broke your fall?
I landed on my back and I had snapped back. I'm pretty sure.
Because you fell onto the rope, so your
It's
body
like a
did.
flash.
Her body did that kind of
Oof.
movement. So it's unfortunate. I mean, at the end of the day, I will be honest, the rule is you can't cover your vest. That is a rule. But we didn't cover the vest on purpose. And I want to make that clear to everyone who watches the show, because I know there was an article released on ET Online about what constitutes cheating. I don't find that cheating. That was just what happened in that circumstance. At the end of the day, she fell onto her back. I acted appropriately in that moment that I thought was going to help us. I think no matter what we would have done, we still probably would have been captured. But I had to do something. I tested the boundaries of the rules in that moment, and you can't fault me for that.
Yeah.
I'm here to play a game.
I mean, and again, as you said, with your adrenaline going too. I mean, Rebecca, how quickly did you pull her over that line?
Very quickly. I asked her, I said, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "I think I'm okay." I was like, "You need to grab my hands and I'm pulling you in." And Jade and Nikita heard me say this, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't being quiet about it, but I kind of lifted her and pulled her in.
Yeah.
Like that was just my reaction in that moment.
How long?
The whole thing's just funny to me because they weren't really going for me in the first place.
They
She's
weren't.
obviously reaching past me to go to James.
Well, Nikita was nowhere even near the scene. She was at least 10, 15 feet behind Jade. And Jade, literally, you see her in the clip reaching over to me. So it's unfortunate that it backfired and, you know.
How long were you guys sitting in the supply station area before you found out that, yes, the decision is that you were captured?
Honestly, it was such an emotional moment that I couldn't tell you. We had no concept of time out there. At the end of the day, like, it was that.
And what was Black Team's reaction had Yellow Team already left at this point, or was Yellow Team was still in there as well?
Gold and Black were sitting there to watch the whole show of what went down between Teal and Lime. You know what? I also want to. What, Beck?
They kind of just sat back and watched.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think there was much they could do. You know, it's not, you know, they were there enjoying their food. Why not soak it in for what it was?
Ground, just every team for themselves. So if I was going to get caught, they were going to be okay with it at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of alliances and who you like.
I also want to clarify that comment that I made when I said, it doesn't matter, we're not going home tonight, because I know a lot of people are like, well, that was really cocky for James to say that.
James, that was really cocky.
It was. I will own up to it. I think I was so upset about the situation. I went into protective brother mode, and again, no one can fault me for that. I was worried about Rebecca.
Snarky.
I got snarky. With no food, no water, my system, lack of sleep.
He was hangry, everybody.
I was hangry. You see the clips of Jade and Nikita walking us back to the jail, and we're smiling with them. Like, I apologized the whole way back to the jail for that.
We apologized profusely. And I was like, I even said, he was really stressed out. He didn't mean that. And I was like, and I also remember saying, we're going to walk back to the jail as fast as we can so you guys can get back out there.
Yeah, we said this. And it was one of those things, you know, I messed up. I put my foot in my mouth, but I explained myself very well. And Rebecca was very embarrassed because of my reaction. And that's why she apologized for me too. I will own up to it. I was hangry.
Everybody gets a little hangry sometimes, and especially when you're under that stress. And Rebecca, when you got up, like, did you have to see a medic? Like, did you have a concussion? Was there anything that was found out?
No, I did end up going to see a medic, but they said I was fine.
Good.
So, which I was thankful for, because honestly, I hit out hard and it scared me.
Yeah, it was very hard.
And then I know Black Team joined you guys pretty quickly after that.
And yeah, they did.
That relates back to James's comment. When he did get a little bit snarky, he had reasoning behind it was that Jade and Nikita hadn't caught anybody the first day, and they, had just caught us with not a lot of time left. So, I mean, we did assume that they wouldn't end up catching anyone else, that they would go up to elimination with us, and that they would go home because they were the physically stronger team.
Yeah, I mean, they would have gone home had it been.
Comment, there was logic.
Had it been Teal and Lime, they would have gone home, and that's why I said that, because I know that Jade and Nikita get very frantic and very frazzled. I mean, in the first episode, they solely relied on that compass. My plan worked. They were so in tune with this compass.
Plan.
What, Rebecca?
Said your plan.
Team Lime. One man team.
Rebecca, did you not say 10 minutes ago that you did not want to go for the sabotage?
Whatever, we did it together.
We did. With Lime Team's plan, we knew that they were going to solely rely on that compass, because that's the type. I knew Jade and Keita would do that. That on the second day, if we could get them a little bit worked up too, then maybe they wouldn't catch another team.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all part of the game.
It's part of the game.
Sorry.
Oh, no, go, Rebecca, go.
Oh, I was just jumping to sabotage into the red team. I thought it was interesting how how upset they were, how deeply upset they were about us sabotaging them, because they were so upset that they ran so hard. And I was like, you guys, we're in an outdoors competition. Like, we're gonna be running hard, and I don't know.
Yeah, I was a little caught off by that too.
Very extreme.
It was, and I think that's why
the sabotage made complete sense.
It did. It kept Teal off our tail, kept him on a stronger team's tail. They didn't catch anyone the first day. We wanted to discourage them. It was more of the mental game at this point. When we got back to the village and they said that we were the assassins, why aren't we owning up to what we did? It's because we knew Red Team knew. But we're not conflict. We don't like conflict. And we didn't want it to be a big scene in front of the camp. We did not. Once we were honest about it and saw their body language change, that's when I knew that Rob and Jacob knew that they were sabotaged. And I was like, why did we admit this? Why?
Oh, that was another time when you were like, hey guys, like, we did it. Like, I was like, James, why would you, like, because I know you know reality television well.
You don't see the speculation though that goes on between everyone and everyone pointing fingers and trying to figure out who it was. Like, when we did the first one against Blue, like, I mean, Gold was saying, like, this is shady. Like, why is nobody owning up to this? Like, why isn't anybody saying anything? And I was nervous to see that happen again. And I figured fingers were pointing our way against we did the first sabotage.
Yeah.
Or that sabotage against Blue.
Speaking of the Red Team, Rebecca, I know there was that one clip. I don't know who it was that was being interviewed, but they get bleeped out when they're discussing you and kind of the way, like, getting you and James out of the game. How did that affect you, and what is your opinion of the Red Team?
Honestly, that was difficult to hear, and their anger was difficult because we enjoyed spending time with them first couple of days, and I felt at least that we had bonded very well with them. And I mean, the sabotage was no hard feelings, and to hear them react like that and to get so personal and honestly to get nasty, at least that really surprised me, and it hurt my feelings. So
it did. And again, we don't like conflict. No matter how hard we try to stay away from it, people would build it up in front of us, and we did not want to ruffle people the wrong way. We didn't want to ruffle feathers. We wanted to kind of remain neutral. Of course, we got really excited and kind of jumped the gun on being honest about the sabotage, but I was just so proud of what me and my sister were able to do that, that probably was my downfall. I was excited to share that, hey, Lime's in the game now, because for so long people underestimated us. And,
what, and
Rebecca?
Also we had friends there, we had White, Gold, and Green to be completely excited for us, So then we had people there to back us up.
But I have to hand it to Rob and Jacob. I have to, because they played us. And as a reality fan myself, good game move, guys. Really good game move. I had no idea. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, we're going to play it off like we don't know that we were the ones sabotaged. Totally fooled. But once their body language changed later on that evening, I was like, they know.
And the Oscar goes to Rob and Jacob for this episode of Capture.
But I think at the end of the day, like, last week's episode, Eric, when we announced that we sabotaged them, Eric even said good game.
Yeah.
In this situation, exactly. Rob and Jacob couldn't say good. I mean, at the end of the day, it backfired on us, but we were playing the game. That's just what it comes down to.
I don't know. That one interview where who is it, Rob or Jacob? Jacob gets bleeped out, and I saw another clip of that same. I saw that same clip online without the bleep out, and what he said it makes it seem like he's cursing about, like, saying, like, your effing sister or something.
Sure.
But what he says is your cripple sister, and I just thought that was a real low blow. I thought a lot of, like, his interviews for this episode just were really mean and unnecessarily mean. Like, I get, like, you're in the game and you are getting very, I mean, it's a lot of money. Like, I get it. Like, you're all hangry. Like, it's emotional is a lot, but, like, to do a low blow like that when, Rebecca, you were injured, and for him to call you a cripple, like, never, I just don't think that's a term that should ever be used as a derogatory term.
And Rebecca wasn't even crippled, which is what's funny. She didn't hurt herself on this day that he was probably interviewed about this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was just, to me, I was like, what? My sister's not crippled. She's still able to, do stuff. I don't get it.
I don't. that's also being offensive to an entire population of people.
Absolutely.
Just like using the word homo would be offensive to an entire population of people.
And I would agree. Rebecca, do you have like any final thoughts about, to wrap it up here? I know you're up pretty late.
Oh gosh, I have no idea. I just no regrets. James and I played hard, and we ended up going home for playing hard. But I loved it, and it was kind of fun being devious and assassinating. And
The Assassins of Capture.
So
You guys got a great name out of it. I would definitely say great title.
Thank you.
Do you have any predictions, Rebecca?
Predictions?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, it seems, what are there, 16 left?
We're at the halfway point, Rebecca. Name of the episode.
Anyway, I mean, it's pretty split right down the middle with where it appears the alliance is by, so it kind of depends on who the hunt team is next, and if they're willing to catch people in their own alliance, or if they're going to catch people, whoever they catch.
Who are you?
It'll be interesting. There's all strong teams left.
Who are you rooting for?
I love gold is green and white. They're my people. Pink are nice people too, but obviously they're going against us. But green and white are love them. We had a wonderful experience getting to know everyone, so rooting for them, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca, for calling in and sharing and staying up a little bit later. It's been such a joy getting to watch you on TV and getting to know your brother and you, and it's been fun. So I hope you call in another time and get some sleep tonight.
Hey, Beck, quick question.
Yeah.
Christina the Fish on Twitter wants to know if we had the chance to be on Capture all over again, would we?
Absolutely. I would definitely train harder,
Mm-hmm.
but we would definitely do it again, right, James? Maybe not be
100%. You
Really?
learn from your first time, you know what I mean? And the second time you just kind of go in balls to the wall, which is something I said on the show. But we would know better next time.
Yeah.
And I think we would absolutely love the opportunity to play again.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, have a good night, Rebecca. Thanks so much for calling in.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Rebecca, I miss laying in our bunk bed talking about Chris and Nick. We didn't talk about that.
Oh. Tell us a little bit about Chris and Nick before you go, actually, because I think they are adorable.
I had to bring it up.
I was thinking about that when I was getting ready to hang up. I was like, we didn't get to talk about the gold team.
What would you like to say to the gold team, Rebecca? This is your time.
I don't know if they know about this, but throughout that entire show, I was trying to decide which one I liked more because I am so in love with both of them.
Yeah, they're really.
Because they're both
Chris
wonderful.
and Nick are such good guys. I mean, they're Wallaces. We're Wallingtons. I call ourselves the Wally Bunch. Our bunks were next to each other. And so, yeah, it was fun to lay in bed with Rebecca at night, and we would weigh out the pros and cons of both.
They're both just so darn cute and just such nice guys. I love them both. I still can't pick. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Well, on that
We'll
note,
see how they do
sweet
in the
dreams
competition.
sweet dreams about Gold Team tonight.
Oh, I will.
Love you, Rebecca. Thanks for staying up. You're a trooper.
I love you too. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Good night. Well, we might want to jump right into predictions. I know we're kind of running out of time
Sure.
here, so we kind of covered everything.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I want to make it clear to people, at the end of the day, this is a reality show, and we're thrown into such a crazy situation that our bodies have never been in before. We react as humans. We all are going to have low points. We're all going to have high points on the show, and you can't fault us for that, to react in ways that we do with the lack of food, the lack of sleep, and the lack of water. At the end of the day, I have nothing against Red Team. Rob and Jacob, good game. You guys fooled us, and I can't hold that against you. I'm a reality lover. That was solid. Jade and Nikita, you guys are wonderful girls. It's unfortunate what happened between us. I think it's just a difference of opinion. That's why we clash so much on Twitter. But we have nothing. We walked away with literally nothing personal towards anyone. Just reliving these experiences, I think, is what's really hard for everyone involved. Mm-hmm. Because 3 months ago, these were so driven with anger or passion or drive. Now having to relive that when you feel like you're kind of over it is resurfacing these emotions, which is why I think it's so heated now. But it's like a Band-Aid. You tear it off really quickly, it hurts for a second, then it's done. So, but just want to make that clear that we have no hatred towards anyone. At the end of the day, it is a game.
We all love Capture.
It's a good show.
It's a great show, yeah. So let's just jump right into predictions.
And Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
James.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's a lot of preview clips online. You can go to Capture Fan on YouTube and you can see some raw footage that hasn't been leaked yet for next week's episode, which I'm really excited about.
You can also go to iTunes and download and rate our show.
Yes, give us 5 stars and let us know what you think. Based on what I've seen on the clip, I'm really excited to see what happens next week. It seems like everyone goes for the supply station. Again, everyone's starting to crumble. You need that food to survive in this game. I'm very curious to see what the mystery box is all about. I'm nervous about it because, in a game situation, you have to expect the unexpected. Anything is possible. So I hope that whatever happens with the mystery box, that the teams are able to adjust to the changes.
Do we know who the hunt team is?
I haven't seen a clip of that, so
Okay.
I don't know.
Don't know who the hunt team is. I'm so excited about this mystery box, and I don't know who is gonna be. I'm so excited. I'm so into the show. I'm sad James isn't there anymore, but I get to spend every week with you watching the show and talking about the show after. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. And James, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at James Wallington, and I have to blow all these kisses. Because I have so many tweets that are saying, James, blow me a kiss, blow me a kiss. I'm blowing kisses. I appreciate everyone's support, reaching out to Rebecca and us, just making us feel so good about what we were able to accomplish. You know, at the end of the day, if we were able to impact one person's life after this entire experience, that is more of a reward than we could ever ask for. So we appreciate everything the feedback we've been getting. I also want to make it very clear, because last week we had Eric call in. He said some things about people that I really care about, that I keep in touch with to this day. White team. Matt and Kalisha are honorable people. They are fighters. They are in this game to win it. Don't underestimate them. They do not need domestic counseling, domestic violence counseling whatsoever. And I love Chris and Nick, solid boys. They are very wonderful people. I loved the way they treated Rebecca and I, so power to them. I did not appreciate the comments about Nick coming out of the closet, because he is straight as they come, and I hope they date. I hope he dates my sister Rebecca. And Kareem and Antoine, I can't speak enough of, because they are my boys. They really looked out for Rebecca and I. Gangrene Alliance all the way. They said it when they went up to the voting podium. We love your color. That has been our theme this entire time. And with Kareem and Antoine, we love you guys so much. You're solid guys. You're very competitive, and I can't wait to see what our alliance members are able to accomplish on the rest of Capture.
Awesome. Well,
but you can find me on Twitter at James Wallington.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at KeetinM33.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.